Welcome to another edition of AI in Finance. Today, and probably for the next few episodes, I want to hone in on some aspects of Claude, that's Anthropic's LLM, and show you a few things that have evolved over the past few months. Today, I want to explore Claude Cowork, and I'm looking at a Wired article. If you haven't heard about Claude Cowork, I would go and just search Claude Cowork, and you see all the news articles, you'll see a lot of YouTube videos, but it's noted here in Wired that it's the AI agent that actually works. And it's all built into Claude's platform application that you can use on the web or on your computer. So I want to walk through an example of it. Let's just look at what that looks like for a second. So if we pull up Claude, we can see here's Claude. So over here is where we do the chat. This is where you use just the natural language LLM. This is the application that's just downloaded on my computer. I'm not using the web app. I'm using just the app on my computer here. It all syncs up together. And then here's Claude Cowork. And this is where you can use an agent for whatever it is that you want, right? Some of the things that you've seen YouTube videos on in the past were like, hey, organize all of my screenshots or organize all of my files in my folder, like some of those types of things. But what I want to do is look at an example that would make sense for us in wealth management. So what I did is on my desktop, I created a folder called AI Demo, and I inputted in two files. So what I wanted to do is say, can Claude Code or Claude Cowork help me create a simplified financial plan for a new prospect based on the information that they sent in? So I put in a sample statement, which looks like this here. This is like a sample statement that we are using that maybe they have sent us. And then I put in a pre-meeting information sheet. And I actually use Claude to help me build this information sheet. And it's a pretty extensive one. We probably won't get all this information from an initial prospect, but man, would it be nice if we did. So you can see everything here, all the different sections, the information here, everything of that nature is in here. A lot of information, and I have that all. So both of these documents are within this folder. So what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this cold. I have actually not used Claude Cowork. I've used Claude Code, and it's been fantastic, which led me to want to try Claude Cowork, but I haven't used Claude Cowork. So I want it to work in a specific folder. So this allows me to say, only look at this specific folder on my computer. And so I'm going to pull this up, and it's going to ask me which folder. And I'm just going to say, all you can use is this AI demo folder. And you can see allow Claude to change files in AI demo, etc. I'm going to allow. And so you can see there now it says AI demo. So what I'm going to say is the folder you are looking at has information for a new wealth management prospect that I am looking to meet with in the next week. Can you go through all of the information and create me a simplified spreadsheet with the information that allows for me to do simple financial planning while I am on the call with the client. I am looking to have simple future value models to see what they need to save, how much they need to grow, and how much they need to have in order to continue living a lifestyle similar to what they are living, but in retirement. I don't know. This is just something that came to mind as I was right here doing this. So let's just click let's go. Let's see what it can do. So what we're going to see is, I don't know. We're going to see how it goes through. We're going to just read this together. Claude would like to access your microphone. I don't really need that right now. Claude would like to access files. Okay, that's fine. So it's starting up here. It's showing me a progress report. He's got the instructions here. Context. So it's doing something, running a command, using a skill. Let me start by reviewing the files in your folder and reading the spreadsheet skill. Then I'll dig into the details. So it's using a skill. You can see here, these are the different skills. This is something that Claude came out with recently about different skills. So it's skills that it's been trained. So this is a spreadsheet skill, a PDF skill, and a document skill. So it's allowing it to how to train it to read and work within these documents that is there. This is one of the things I think helps it to use that. You can use it now as a plugin within Excel and a PowerPoint, which we will do something on in a future video. But you can see it's working here, thinking. And so we'll continue to monitor this and see. But I think that what this is, oh, it's already had some progress. So it's extract and organize all client financial data from documents. And now it's building the financial planning spreadsheet. And then it's going to recalculate. And you can actually ask a question or recommend a change while it's in the middle of it. That's what's super interesting. So you can see what it's doing and then actually recommend a change if you desire to, which is really nice. And what the really core of this is that it makes agents accessible to all. You can create and give access to what you want it to and allow it to go do actions. Because remember, AI agents are actually doing work for you, where LLMs give you the information, agents do the work for you. That is the future, I think, of where you start to see value from AI beyond just the consumption of information. And so it looks like it's writing and building. This is writing build spreadsheet.py, py. I think it goes more, but that's like a Python. So it's what it's doing right now is I think it's coding everything that it needs to do. It's writing that. It's taking about 1 minute and 5 seconds. And so you just think about what time frame it takes for us to go distill all that information, understand it all, and then create a spreadsheet and prepare for a meeting. And it's writing all of that and downloading all that and calculating and writing those lines of code to help with that in a very short period of time. So we'll continue to watch this and continue to see how it does. But I'm going to pause here and we'll come back and we'll put a little bit of a time on how long it takes for them to get it done. All right, so we're coming back for a second. So it ran through when we saw it like counting up, it was about 2.5 minutes to do that. And you can see it finished building the financial planning spreadsheet with future value models. And now it's recalculating varying formulas. Now, one thing to notice that happened over that 2.5 minutes or so was this was a new file that was been added. And look where it was added. If you look up in this box, it says users-matt-reiner-desktop-AI demo. That was the folder. Doe Family Financial Planning Model.xlsx. That's an Excel file. It added that file into my folder structure. Remember, there was only 2 files here earlier. Now there's a third. We're going to wait to open it up until it's fully done. But it went and added it to the folder structure that I've already had, making it mean that I can continue to live and work where I need to. And now it's recalculating and verifying everything that's needed. And then once it's done, we're going to open up the spreadsheet and see what it looks like. But right now it's finishing up. So let's let it finish up. Once it's finished up, we'll come back and we'll look at the spreadsheet. All right, so we're back. It took a little bit longer, about 3 or 4 minutes for it to recalculate and verify all formulas, but the progress says it's all done. So we look like we're all done. Ran a command, used a skill. You can see everything that it did. So let's now open up. So here's the folder. Here's this file. Let's open up this. So let's see. Here is the file that was created. John Doe. And I'm just going to, let me pull this in here. So we're just going to kind of look at these side by side here. So John Doe. Let's see, age 54, married 22 years, married filing jointly, so it gave me that. Gave me a marginal tax bracket, state tax rate, that's Georgia. Target retirement age, retirement goals and assumptions, retirement income goal. So let's look through that real quick here. Let's see. Financial goals, retirement target age, retirement income goal. So it just went in the middle there. Assumed inflation rate, pre-retirement growth rate, retirement duration, Jane state pension. Let's see. Insurance cover, monthly cash flow. Let's see, is that down here? Tax profile, had that already in there. So we have all the information here. Let's see, it's got multiple tabs. So I'm going to move this out so that we can look at all these tabs here. So now we can go, it built out a balance sheet for me. Well, that's exciting. So we got assets, liabilities, all this information, net worth. All right. Mostly depleted. Here's the 401k. Now retirement projection. So current investable assets. Is that right? Total assets. Is that current? investable assets is 7.1. So it must be looking at, it's taken out the primary residence and this such. So it's looking at this, and this, 7.286, 7.161. I'm wondering if it is reducing out some of these others. So that's an interesting one. I don't know where they're getting that full number from, but it seems close enough. But we'd have to recheck and verify it. You see the RSUs as well. Maybe that's on the balance sheet, RSUs. I don't see it on there. So, and then you see accumulation phase. So till retirement, beginning balance, savings added, RSU, investment growth, cumulative savings. So it gives me a projected portfolio at retirement. Distribution phase, it gives me just a simple cash flow planner. I mean, yeah, you could go use the financial planning software, but again, this gets us directionally sound. This makes for a impactful meeting, and then we can go dive deeper if we need to from there. And then we have some scenario analysis, current portfolio value, and we have all these different scenarios. What growth rate do I need? Estimated years and money lasts, sustainable withdrawal rate, all of that. College funding is over here, and it does it for the kids. I mean, that's pretty incredible. And then monthly cash flow, take home, expenses, savings, etc. So this is what I'm talking about with agents, right? Like, is this all perfect? I mean, I could go through it and verify some points of it. We saw in the retirement projection, like, what's that number, how they calculate that number. We could go through and figure that out. We could talk with Claude to figure out how it got to that number as well, if we needed to. But again, the ability to create something like this is really, it takes a time consuming, right? And we did all this in about 9 minutes. And the thing is as Claude is working, you can go be doing something else. And you can give it access to these folders for your new families and have them build out these spreadsheets. And as you update the information, it can update these spreadsheets. This is what I talk about agents and the impact that it can have. It doesn't mean you got to go create your own software necessarily, but you can use the software that's already there to help you eliminate some of the time that is needed. This is where the time savings are. If you can get back an hour or two per week because you're having 3 or 4 meetings and this saves you an hour or two, that gives you more time to go deeper with certain families, spend time calling families, etc. That is where the value is. That is where the ROI is. And I just found this to be really, really insightful. You know, it was funny as I was watching this run, I was thinking back to some of my earlier videos and keynotes that I've done where I was showing like ChatGPT reading a PDF. I mean, we have come so far, and that was only about 12, 18 months ago. We have already come so far. So, you know, go check out Claude Cowork, see about some different aspects that you can try. But I found this to be a really useful example of how you could use Claude Cowork right now in your business and create efficiencies today. So that's an edition of AI and Finance Demo Vision. Hope you have a great rest of your day.